Last spring, I had a graduation party for my younger son in my house, and I knew that my ex was coming. But when he came with the other guest, his girlfriend came as well. And that was the first time I had seen her, which was fine. I felt fine. But during that party, we were in the kitchen and he said, "Is there nuts in any of the food? Because she's allergic." And I just looked at him and I was so annoyed. It's like, well, yes, I couldn't do anything about it at that point. I thought it was so thoughtless. But regardless, that was the only thing that annoyed me. That was the only thing. I wasn't really even curious about her. It had been about 2.5 years since we separated, so it had been a while. But after the party, I felt so proud of myself because I felt neutral. I wasn't angry. I didn't feel anger toward him or her. It was just neutral. And I felt so proud of myself that I had done the work, because it took some work and it took a lot of intention and moving forward in order to be in that point. And you probably know, if you have been betrayed or just a difficult breakup, you probably have fantasized about running into them, maybe at a grocery store, a restaurant, whatever, looking absolutely fabulous and feeling fabulous. It's like you're living your best life and they're regretting everything about it. I want to say this clearly. That desire is completely normal. We want to show them that we have survived. And because that is partly human. When someone has hurt you, you want to appear strong and in control. But here's something that I didn't quite understand in the beginning. There's this part that I want to appear, fabulous, whatever, look pretty, if I ran into him. And in the beginning, it was about him. And it took me a while to realize that as long as I'm putting it on him, it's about his feelings. It's about what is his opinion about me. It wasn't until later I realized that it's about me. It is what I want. I want to feel good about myself. And that's kind of when my healing turned around, realizing that he has nothing to do with it. It's about me and how I feel about myself. Okay, let's talk about forgiveness, because that kind of ties into this. I had urge to forgive him. I don't know exactly why. I was just feeling so miserable. I was feeling so bad in the very beginning that I thought that if I just forgive him, I will feel better. And I did for a day or two. But what surprised me, that anger came back. It was very early on. What I came to realize, that forgiveness is a decision, but the process of forgiving takes time. In my case, it was about a year, maybe a little more. You probably have heard the phrase, "I forgive, but I don't forget." And I have never agreed with that phrase, because in that phrase, I don't think it's forgiveness at all. It's kind of surface level forgiveness, but you're still holding on to the pain. And to me, true forgiveness is a declaration kind of way, that you acknowledge the fact that what happened, and you intentionally decide to start the forgiveness process, start to forgive, because you realize that holding on to the hurt and to the pain is far more damaging to you than releasing it. And if you are in the place that you have forgiven him or her, it doesn't matter, it's a man or woman or someone, and you feel that anger come back, or that hate or frustration or whatever negative feeling it might be, and you feel that you failed the forgiveness, but don't think it like that. It's because it is a process, it's part of it, that you little by little releasing those feelings that are attached to that circumstance that hurt you. Somebody said to me that when they hear the phrase to forgive somebody, it's kind of permission for them to come back to their life. And I don't think those are the same at all. Because forgiveness is about releasing that pain. And whether or not you let that person come back to your life requires, in my mind, a series of difficult questions that you need to ask from each other and have an honest conversation. Because if there has been hurt or betrayal or lack of trust, that is the only way to get the answers. And I know that it's difficult. Most people want to avoid conflict. But if you are in the position that you are contemplating whether to get back with that person or not, you owe it to yourself to ask those difficult questions. Because without that, how do you start building trust again? And you can forgive someone and never speak to them again. It is not in conflict. They are not even related. So back to the graduation party. 2.5 years. I didn't rush the process. Well, initially I thought it would be much faster, but I did find out that it takes time. It takes time to recover. And the beautiful thing was that that process worked. I no longer hated him. I no longer have feelings for her. It was neutral. And I didn't plan that moment. It was kind of a surprise, but I had worked through that for 2.5 years, little by little, and got to be me without any attachments to him. So if you are in the middle of this right now, maybe it's been a few months or a year and you still feel angry, have grace, because it does take time. It does.